Hi everyone, welcome to Conversion Conversations. This is Cameron, and I have, I think, a pretty quick video I wanted to share today. I wanted to share a fun casual deck I've been playing lately. I think it's got some interesting ideas, and I would love to get some feedback on it about what I could maybe do to tweak this, see if I could squeeze any more efficiency out of it. The characters I'm running, I've got Wheeljack first, Wave 1 Wheeljack, which we all know and love. I've got Private Firedrive, which we've known since Siege 1. And then I wanted to check out a Mercenary, so the way this deck started was an idea to check out Mercenary Deadlock. And by now you probably already know, but Mercenary Deadlock's thing is that if he gets a bounty, you get to draw 2 cards and flip him back to his stealth side. And that's where I was getting the idea of, okay, how do I get value out of that bounty flip? And my idea has been, okay, partner him up with a battlemaster to see if I can score hits into the battlemaster to get a KO and equip up a big hitting character for a very big attack as my last attack for a turn. So that's kind of the general idea I approached with this deck, is to see if I can get Deadlock's bounty trigger, get Firedrive over to his weapon side, use the card to draw I have to get a big, bold 3 swing with Wheeljack, scrapping whatever cards I need to get a kill. That's the general idea behind the deck, and I thought it would be fun to check out. I've played it a couple dozen times now against all sorts of decks, and I'd say while it is definitely not a top-tier competitive deck, it is a lot of fun to bring to your next casual Transformers TCG night. The battle cards I am currently running, we'll start with the weapon package. Since this is an aggro-heavy deck, I've got plenty of weapons. I go ahead and stack bold as much as I can. I'm running 3 power punches, 3 grenade launchers, 2 erratic lightnings. Since I do have 2 different factions, I'm running 2 soldiers blasters, because odds are I'll get those as +3s. And then as my last weapon, I've got a single sturdy javelin, partially because it's a white deck. White pip. My deck is only running, I believe, 3 or 4 white pips, 3 white pips, and partially because I do have a couple ranged characters here. Deadlock generally survives to the end. If I get Sturdy Javelin in hand with my card draw, I can usually use it to KO some character that I don't want to sink a Wheeljack attack into. So that is the weapons. Next, we have our armors. And here I'm running a Bashing Shield. Again, I mean, it's an aggro deck, that seems obvious. And improvised armors for the pips. That's really it. Those are the only 4 armors we have, and we all know what those do. Bashing Shield, of course, getting around whatever armor I don't want to deal with. For utilities, since I am running 2 cars, I've got 2 turbo boosters here. As a 3-wide aggro deck, I think it's super important to try and get the untaps when I can. In addition, what I found is, because I'm trying to load up my one of my 2 guys with a battlemaster, and I've got plenty of other weapons, I've gotten a lot of value out of shoulder holsters. Generally speaking, I'd say like half the time, maybe less than that, a third of the time that I flip, I can get another weapon on the play, which is super nice. If not, I can still prep someone to accept Fire Drive even if they already have a weapon on them. And that is 20 upgrades, so the deck splits pretty evenly between upgrades and actions. Speaking of actions, again, I love the bold. If I can get Wheeljack a big bold swing, I want to. So I am running 3 supercharges. I'm running 2 fight for positions. I ended up cutting 1 to make room for some other stuff. Again, I love the double orange pips, so I've got 3 Peace Through Tyrannies here. With Fire Drive, if it's a card I have in hand and he's already dead, I'm not going to use the card effect, but I can always burn it for my Bashing Shield, or I can scrap it to get an extra damage off with Fire Drive's ability, which I like. I do run a single treasure hunt to try and help me make sure that I've got weapons in hand, in addition to Deadlock and Firedrive's card draw. I don't think there's been a turn when I haven't gone ahead and played a weapon, which I really like. I mentioned untaps before, so the other blue pips I'm running in this deck are Start Your Engines. I do have those guys. And then on top of these, with the card draw I found that with 2 Quartermasters, in general, I can get Firedrive back after he gets discarded, which, I mean, he does with a good amount of regularity. My last action cards are all related to Deadlock being a Mercenary. I was running Coup for a while, but I found that I wasn't necessarily getting a ton of value out of it. It's a card that's been in and out of my deck a couple times. Right now, I am running 2 dual wields again. Getting an extra weapon is wonderful. If I played on Deadlock, being able to slap a grenade launcher onto him or something is just great for that other swing. Instead of Coup right now, I'm running Contract Contingency because I've been going up against a lot of blue decks lately. If I thought that I was going up against a more aggro-heavy meta locally, I'd probably swap these out for Coups. And then the last one is, again, I'm running up against control decks. I found that I just need to squeeze out a little more health if I can. I'm running Opportune Repairs, trying to heal Wheeljack if possible. It is an orange and a black pip, which is basically a damage if flipped, which I don't mind at all either. And that's my 20 actions. I don't have a sideboard right now. I've toyed around with a couple options. I haven't found anything I've liked yet. But in general, my matchups against control decks right now, I feel like are pretty good. There's certain decks like, I think, Jetfire and Galaxy Prime. Those two I struggle with. Other control decks I've had better fights against. Sometimes if I'm not fast enough, Major Shockwave can mess this deck up. But I generally have been able to kill the little guys, get the card draw I need to stay out of the danger zone. In addition to that, the couple times that I've run into wider aggro decks, it's been a bit of a toss-up locally. I think that with the untaps, again, that's right, in any sort of pseudo-cars deck, the untaps are really important to get. I could see myself running a couple more untap effects to play as if I was a wider deck. But in general, what I like to do is go ahead and go first, swing with Firedrive. I've drawn a card at that point. They sink an attack in a Firedrive on my second turn. I can load Deadlock up with a weapon, either flip him if I can kill a little guy. If I can't, leave him in car mode and go ahead and swing with him. Unless they're playing a Mercenary on their side of the field, they're sinking another attack in a Firedrive. And then by turn 3, normally I can get some sort of untap effect, flip him, and get his bounty off. That's the way I generally try and play the deck, and then kill something big with Wheeljack on the last turn before we untap. By that point, Firedrive will be dead, and he'll be on one of these 2 guys. Like I said, quick video. This isn't really, like, I wouldn't call this a deck tech, because I think this is still very much a work in progress. But really, I'm happy with it at a casual level. I think maybe it could run better as a cars list, just a pure cars list. But then the thing that I'm thinking about is, okay, if I'm untapping him, or not untapping, if I'm bounting to get to stealth, who are they going to sink attacks into? I feel like Deadlock as a casual card is a lot of fun, but maybe his stats just aren't there in terms of trying to protect him. Why am I trying to protect this guy unless he had a little better stats? It is nice to protect him when I've got, 2 weapons on him. That's always fun. But other than that, the other idea I've had is running him up against multiple battle-masters. Again, forcing attacks just into my battle-masters guys to armor Deadlock up as much as possible. That hasn't been as successful. I've been much happier with this mostly orange build, a little bit of black splashed in right now. But yeah, that's it. Just a quick look at the deck list. And like I said at the beginning of the video, if you have any suggestions, alternatives, have you run Deadlock? How have you run him? Just let me know. I'd really appreciate it. Because I like the character. I wish I had a Deadlock toy. Right now, Drift is my substitute. But if there was a better way for me to run it, I would absolutely be interested. So let me know below. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.